Nancy, and I'm with Central Lutheran.
I'm Kevin, and I'm with Central Lutheran. I think what we do basically is we complete the application along with the individual that's come in for assistance. We also, I think, spend some time explaining the program to them and what the criteria are, so that they understand what it is, and then actually go through the application process. Make sure that we have all the documents that they need. If they don't have all the documents, we'll, give them a note basically that tells them what they need to bring in and to complete the application. So it's essentially taking the application, talking to the applicants, and helping them to understand how the Align program works.
Yeah, and I would just echo, I think the most important part of the application process for many people is we're hearing their story, and we hear time and time again how difficult it is for them to access Hennepin County services, that it's done remotely, it's done over the phone. And for a lot of people who come here, this is the first opportunity they have to tell someone else about their story, and it can often get quite emotional.
Learned a ton of stuff, and so much. I guess I would start by saying that what folks have to go through when they in trying to get assistance, if they come up with some sort of life situation that causes them to fall behind financially, on their rent. Everything that they have to try to get government help, and then if the government help isn't necessarily available, to try to find the private sources. It could be literally a full-time job just looking for the assistance. And I mean, I think that there's so much built-in frustration with the process that I think it's got to be so sort of demoralizing for folks. I feel like I've learned that there's a lot of different things that can cause this, and can cause the situation of somebody to fall into the financial situation where they can become homeless. And it's not a one size fits all sort of situation. It can be very different, and how close folks can be in terms of how much of their income rent might take up, and how unaffordable rent is for so many folks. And all you'd have to do is one small thing, relatively small thing, could occur and cause you to fall behind.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'd echo what Kevin said. Just I'm amazed by the perseverance of these people and the stories that they tell, that I often leave here and think, there by the grace of God go I, or my kids who are renters. And it's it's helping to pay for a funeral. It's the woman who was involved in an Uber accident, people who today that we worked with who had lost jobs and needed help with 1 month's rent. I'm also struck by recently the number of older women who are on Social Security or working full-time job, and are all of a sudden, because of situations usually involving drugs with their children, that they are now caring for the grandchild full-time, and the impact that has on their ability to work, and now being responsible for a toddler in many cases. So I like Kevin, I mean, we leave here and we're in awe of their perseverance, and feel very humbled working with many of these people.
You get a sense for how many folks really are living paycheck to paycheck, and one little crisis can just really lead you to not have a home.
Well, first of all, I'm really proud of Minneapolis that we have congregations and individuals who donate to this program, which I think is kind of a niche program for helping homeless people, in that it's helping people who have been stable and paying their rent but come across a one-time crisis. And as a taxpayer, I think it's a cost-effective program, that the money that people put towards this program saves a lot of money in the long run if people end up homeless. And the other factor to consider is just the human toll on people who go through homelessness, and that many times little kids are involved. And, you know, I can't help but think about the impact that this has on our school systems in Minneapolis. So I think it's a really cost-effective program.
Yeah, I would agree 100% with Nancy there. I mean, for sure, that's all true. And the only thing I might add to that is, you know, we're talking about a program that's supported by churches. And so presumably members of churches are, you know, people of faith. And I think that's what our faith teaches us, that we need to be there and help the less fortunate. And so I think besides being a practical matter, for sure it's a practical matter, for sure ultimately it saves the taxpayers money. It's also an act of your faith. It's also living your faith. And I think that's what we're taught.
No, I mean, it's a privilege to volunteer with this program.